happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, here with my brother from another big game, James. It's another episode of Best of Enemies. Today we're gonna do something that we did earlier on in the season. We did our Would You Rather, and I think a lot of things have changed over the season so far. I think James probably has different opinions. I know I probably have different opinions. So we're gonna get into it. But first, James, how's it going, brother? How you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. Always good when we jump in here, talk to Best of Enemies podcast. Uh, Games are coming up. You guys got your big game tomorrow, big game, big three games the next 3 weeks. So we're definitely going to be in tune. I don't care. Yes, we will definitely be in tune to see how that goes. We got our games today, Thanksgiving. So obviously Thanksgiving's coming up. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody if I haven't said it already. And, let's get ready to talk some football like usual.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I'm sure we'll get on our respective lives and do something before that. But yeah, like you said, it's going to be a big couple of weeks for the Philadelphia Eagles coming up. We really get to see who we are, what we are in the next coming weeks. And Cowboys have an easy schedule, but at the end of the day, not for the whole.
Not easy.
You guys got a couple easy games, right? Because you got the Panthers and then I
Right.
think the Giants right after. If I'm not
No,
mistaken.
we got Washington. That ain't no easy
Washington,
game.
so that
Thanksgiving.
should be.
That's gonna be. I feel like that's gonna be a tough game because you've seen how the way the Washington Commanders play you guys. They always play you guys tough, and I feel like they do that as well with us. Even if we beat them in games, they always play us hard. I feel like that rivalry is still there. And Sam Howell, if you slip on him, he'll throw some yards on. If he gets some protection, he'll throw some yards on you. Obviously, they don't have their bookends like they did with trading away their players and Chase Young and Montez Sweat, but it's those 4 games and 4 games in like a week. So that's what's critical. And then you got the Seattle Seahawks, who they got some young boys over there that are real good, especially on that defensive cornerback position. Weatherspoon is turning up, and then they got the guy from last year. I can't remember in his head, but so it's going to be some tough games as well as yours. Yours are going to be a little more daunting because now, like you said, we're going to see. You got KC. Who do you got right after that? Buffalo,
the Bills, yeah.
Buffalo, and then right after that, then you got San Francisco. So a lot of people are going to be on watch, to see what the Eagles really are this year in those 3 games.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Look, I've talked about the Eagles versus Chiefs all week. So, like I said, I know some content creators have not talked about the Eagles versus Chiefs, but here on Philly the podcast, we definitely have talked about it. So we're gonna break up the monotony a little bit. We'll go back to talking about Eagles versus Chiefs tomorrow. But today we're gonna do this Would You Rather. Now, like I said, we did do it earlier on in the season, and just to kind of lay some ground rules so that everybody knows that we're all on the same page. And James, you tell me if you want to do it differently when I say this, but we're going to look at both teams if they were completely healthy. We're not going to look at right now. We're going to look at the position groups if they were complete, if they were fully healthy, and who we would rather have. So if you guys want, definitely go check out the previous one that we did. It was definitely interesting. But I think it's good to do it now again, mid-season kind of, right? Because now we got to see a little bit more of each team, a little bit of, some guys that we might have thought maybe were a little bit of a fluke, some players that we didn't think were going to perform as well as they have. So I'm excited to do this. I'm sure you are as well, and I'm sure everybody in the chat is as well. So be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe wherever you are. But we got a lot of positions to talk about, so I'm just going to hop right into it. If you're ready, James.
I'm ready.
Let's get it. So we are going to start with the offense. We're going to start with QB. Like I said, we're going to go position from position. So I think I already know where you're going to go with this one.
I'm going with this one, big dog. I'm going this one, big dog. I mean, there is no doubt in my mind I'm going with this. And I told you, I watched Jalen Hurts this year. A lot of Cowboys fans hate on him. I ain't never really hate on Jalen Hurts. I always thought this was the type of battle we were going to have, and it was everything we wanted, in my opinion. Everything we had talked about in that head-to-head matchup we had wanted to see. So I definitely don't hate on Jalen Hurts, what he's done. He has that cool demeanor about him that is really good for a quarterback. And I feel like he definitely has ability, passing and running. I feel like he still needs to continue to grow as a passer. But he's definitely a dual threat, and he's definitely something to be reckoned with, and that's why you guys have the record you have. So no disrespect to Jalen Hurts. He's a very good quarterback. but I gotta take my dog Dak Prescott. And the reason why, if anybody watches me, I'm very critical of Dak on my own channel, and on Twitter. Whatever. I don't give him a pass, and try to just say he's better than another quarterback because I'm a Cowboy lover. I don't do that. But honestly, in my opinion, this is the best I've ever seen Dak Prescott play. Watched him intently since 2016. I've seen him play some really good years. 2018, when he got Amari Cooper, really just took his game off. 2019 was really just throwing, slinging that ball. 2020, he was killing it before he got hurt. I was really showing how his growth as a passer. And then 2021, it looked like he kind of put it together. So he had that really good year. And then that injury came. Obviously fell back a little bit, had the injury bug, but to me, the way he's throwing the ball, he's using his legs again. That's the biggest thing. It's just like he's confident in running the ball again, not worried about that leg that he had injured, and that's making our team better. But him using his legs, scrambling, moving the chains with his legs, not design runs, not RPOs, things like that. But if you see the pressure run, you're not just trying to hold the ball, trying to make a play. He's running, and that's, like I said, it's making our team better. He's on this run right now. You see this 3-day run when he's looking spectacular. I think he's throwing for over 80% at home in Dallas, and they're like, we won 112 straight. And even when in the losing fight against the Eagles, 375 and 3 touchdowns, no picks. So you know what I'm saying. So he's playing best I've ever seen. So I'm going ahead and go with Dak Prescott on the QB thing.
Yeah, and as you can see, I went with Jalen Hurts. I look, I think I have to say it. Yeah, Dak Prescott has been playing very, very well. Win or loss, it really doesn't. His numbers have been really, really good. And besides that, I think before the season that I gave it to Dak Prescott, gave him the slight edge just because he's been doing it longer. But right now, Jalen Hurts, I feel. You factor in the injury, and it kind of made him become a little bit different than what he usually is, right? He's not really able to run outside the pocket, go crazy with his legs as he was last year and previous years. So he had to become more of a pocket passer, and he's been doing very, very well. Obviously, you look at, that stretch of games where he was just turning the ball over like crazy. This whole team was really just turning the ball over like crazy. He's even from then has improved. And I truly do feel that if the Eagles did not have Jalen Hurts, we would not be in the position we are. So I truly do believe that Jalen Hurts is in a different class right now. Again, no disrespect to Dak Prescott. He has been putting up numbers. He's been doing his thing. I just think that Jalen Hurts is right now our team. Like, if we don't have Jalen Hurts, I know a lot of people like to say, oh, it's because you got A.J. Brown. It's because you got this guy. It's because you got that guy. I think that is a perfect marriage. I think that A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts just work together. Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith just work together. He's been able to win. He's been able to continuously win. So I think that Jalen Hurts is that guy. It's probably pretty close. It really depends on the team you have, which quarterback I want, but I have to go with Jalen Hurts right now. I just feel like he's on another level. He's been doing things I didn't expect him to do as a passer. So I'm all in on him. I love Jalen Hurts. I'm glad that he's our quarterback. So I'm going with Jalen Hurts. And I think I would have got beaten up if I would have went with Dak Prescott at this point in the season. I just think that, like I said, if we did not have Jalen Hurts, who I think is in talks for MVP, I think he definitely should be considered an MVP this year.
So is my guy.
Yeah, you got to win games to be the MVP. You got to.
You're winning games. You're 6-3. You're not You're not under 500. You're 6-3.
If you don't win the division, I don't think you should be a MVP. That's my
division
opinion.
is still up for grabs, though.
It is, but I think that's going to be the deciding factor, in my opinion. If you guys win the division, if he's able to get y'all there, then yeah, maybe he can be the MVP. But I just don't think so. I think Jalen Hurts, what he's done this year, I think he's a step ahead of a lot of people, not just Dak Prescott. So I'm gonna go with Jalen. I know that's probably gonna be the spot of contention, probably the most contention when it comes to the position groups, because I think the rest will probably agree with mostly. But yeah, quarterback, I think it's close, but I got to take Jalen. I got respect for Dak, what he's done, but I'm taking the guy that's been to a Super Bowl. It is great.
Oh boy, how long are we gonna live off of that? Oh my God!
Until we win one. Until we win this one.
Y'all live on that more than
that.
the law allowed. I'm gonna go with the guy that's been to a Super Bowl. Okay, we get it. I can't go against that. But like I said, we're talking about right now, and who's playing the best football right now. And I'm gonna have to go with Dak Prescott. He's playing the best football right now.
I respect that. But yeah, I think it's close. But yeah, I'm going with Jalen. So we move on to running backs. This spot I think is a little bit closer. I think that the Eagles don't really have a running back depth like we used to have. You guys, I don't believe you guys do either. So I mean, it kind of comes down to Tony Pollard versus DeAndre Swift. I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong, but
Mhm.
me personally, I know DeAndre Swift hasn't been the guy we expect him to be over the last couple of weeks because of Cam Jurgens not being in that offensive line, just not doing as well in the run blocking situations as they were. I think with Cam Jurgens coming back and you look at this, you look at DeAndre Swift, I'd take DeAndre Swift over Tony Pollard. That's where I'm kind of getting to. I think that he's more of a lead back than a Tony Pollard is. I think that DeAndre Swift can take over a game. Tony Pollard can too, I guess. I just haven't really seen it. I've seen DeAndre Swift go out there and just take over games, especially for the Eagles. So I'm going to go with the Eagles when it comes to running backs.
Well, I mean, it's going to be close. The only reason why I'm going to give DeAndre Swift because I feel like he's run with a little bit more power and authority right now. But if you look at the numbers, both of them had identical carries with 135. DeAndre Swift has 614 yards to Tony Pollard's 529. He averaged more yards per carry, 4.5 to 3.9. And it looks like Tony Pollard just hasn't been the guy as far as, getting big explosive runs. Although, even though he hasn't looked explosive, he still has more explosive runs after 10 yards than DeAndre Swift. So that's going to be tough right here. I think the only reason why I'm going to kind of maybe give it to the slight edge of DeAndre Swift over Tony Pollard is because we kind of just struggled in our run game. But if we're going as a whole, all our running backs together, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys because I feel like I believe in Rico Dowdell. He just had a semi coming out in party, although I think he maybe tweaked on an injury. He had 12 carries for 79 yards, 6 yards a carry was something we have been waiting to see, and we know that he has that ability to do it. So if we're talking about the whole running back position, I'm taking the Cowboys. If we're talking one-on-one, DeAndre Swift over Tony Pollard, I'll give DeAndre Swift by the slightest of nudges.
All right. So what do you want to pick? Do you want to pick I could switch it real quick. Do you want to
Yeah,
pick?
do the whole thing because you got to have more than one
Okay.
running back. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Because you guys use a Kenneth Gainwell, you guys use other guys, and I feel like it's not just Tony Pollard. We have I can't really call Hunter Lukey, but I know Rico Dowdell is a guy that could be a guy going forward, getting a little bit more carries and get more involved in the run game because we know he could. So I feel like you got to take the whole bundle of running backs because we're going to take the whole bundle of receivers. We're not just going to go one-on-one with receivers. We're going to take the bundle of them. So let's take the bundle of running backs. And if I'm going with the bundle, I'm taking the Cowboys.
I respect that. Yeah, if we're still going with bundle, I'm still going with the Eagles. I think that Kenneth Gainwell has. I mean, yeah, Dowdle. Yeah, I know. I hear you guys talk about him all the time, but Kenneth Gainwell has done it before. Kenneth Gainwell put up over 100 yards in the playoffs. So he hasn't been who we wanted him to be this year, but I still think that he's a really good player. So I would go with the Eagles still. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't think that either of our running games are quote unquote elite. I wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe you think you're. I don't
No,
really think. Yeah.
our running game is not elite at all. This is, to me, one of the first time in a long times that we're not going by the running back philosophy. We got to go with the running game to really start our offense. It's more the passing game now. It's more we're setting up the pass, then hitting the run. So I think, like I said, together they're better, but it's not a running attack that I believe teams are fearing when they play us. I don't feel like they fear our running game, but it can be slippery if the passing game really opens it up. So that's where I feel like our running game is at right now.
Yeah, I think the Eagles' running game as a whole is definitely very good, but it's not what it used to be. And I mean, especially with Jalen Hurts being hurt, that definitely kind of takes away a little bit of what you can do as a running team. So, yeah, usually the Eagles are nasty at running this year. I don't think that they're nasty. I think that they're just pretty good. They're not able to really. They can take over games in the second half, but I haven't seen them just win games because of the run. I mean, I've seen DeAndre Swift go for over 100 plus a couple of times, but just winning the game because of running, I don't think they've done that this year. So there's definitely better running teams out there. But yeah, I would go with the Eagles as far as the whole running back room. You guys, who does your pass protection? Who's your pass pro running back?
I'm gonna say probably it's gonna if we're doing our pass protection guy, I would go with more Rico Dowdell. Although Tony Pollard can, stick his nose in there. I like Rico Dowdell better because he's just to me a little bit more physical in that part of the game. And I think he's better when he really can hit him in a screen pass, if you're hitting him in a screen game, he runs downhill. You feel me? And when he runs downhill, it just changes our offense, in my opinion. People are always talking about Zeke this, Zeke that. Never, not hating on Zeke, but this guy has what you can, if you let him get churning a little bit, let him get going, man. He goes down here, he runs hard, he runs angry, and that's the type of stuff an offensive lineman likes. And that's what that gets the offensive line fired up. So that's why I want to continue to see more of him.
Yeah. And yeah, I asked that just because I don't think the Eagles, I mean, right now, Kenneth Gainwell is our main pass protection guy. So if I had to give you guys an edge anywhere, it would probably be pass protection from your running backs because ours are not that good this year. It is what it is. Hopefully, that's why I was saying that we should have went and got Zeke because we need a guy that could just pass protect. But it is what it is. So far 2-2, you know, I'm not too surprised, but this is, you know, now we're getting to the nitty gritty wide receivers. I mean, I'm taking Eagles all day. Much like, and I'll say this because we're on this show, and you know, I like to keep it honest on this show. I like to talk my junk on Twitter, but I'm gonna keep it honest on this show. Much love to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb has had an amazing year this year. He really has. You know, all junk talk away, you know, put away, and all jokes aside, I think that he has had a very, very good year. Again, I will say that I feel like he's your only real target as far as wide receivers go. I don't feel like you guys have really utilized you know, Jalen Tolbert or Brandon Cooks. I don't think that
We
they've
have
really
as of late.
as of late, yeah, the past
Okay,
game.
I'm gonna just jump in there already because you're only gonna get this by the slightest of margins, only because we're not using Brandon Cooks like we've been supposed to. See, when we played that game, and hopefully we do it again today. Excuse me.
I think we both sick, bro. I think you got me sick.
Excuse me, I apologize.
You good?
But we haven't been using Brandon Cooks. We've been screaming in Cowboys land. Get Brandon Cooks involved. Get Brandon Cooks involved. Reduce Michael Gallup's snaps. Get Jalen Tolbert involved. We just saw a Jalen Brooks sighting. You know, last week, 4 catches. You know what I mean? Jalen Tolbert didn't have a great game, but the fact that he was in the game, you just got to say you're finally opening your eyes because he offers more than Michael Gallup does right now. Michael Gallup got a long touchdown, but it amazes me once you get fire on you how different you play. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the slightest because Devontae Smith hasn't been the force he was last year. He hasn't been that guy. He's been good, but he hasn't been great. And I feel like Brandon Cooks, like I said, he had 9 catches for 170 yards, something like that. He got another touchdown. He's like on a 3-touchdown spree. You're getting him involved, making him the legit opposite of a CeeDee Lamb, and that's what would be one. And he has that speed to burn. We're frustrated that we didn't even get him more involved in that Eagles game because that should have happened. But at the end of the day, like I said, you'll get the slightest because of the numbers, and we haven't been getting Brandon Cooks involved. But going forward, let's check at the end of the year and see what's happening because I feel like our team is leaning on that passing game, and I feel like Brandon Cooks and these other receivers' numbers are going to continue to go up and go on a higher level because we're not going to be relying on the running game. We're going to be relying on Dak's arm.
Yeah, I think that you guys have a closer 2 and 3 than we do. And what I mean by that is like Devontae Smith is far and above anything we have at our wide receiver 3 position. Shout out to Julio Jones. He's going to be probably taking over that spot. But yeah, so I will give you that your third receiver is probably better than anything we have. But as far as Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, yeah, that's just a dynamic duo. And Devontae Smith is on pace to go over 1,000 again this year. So while it hasn't been, like you said, last year, he was on a tear. You know, it was more of a kind of a balance with the wide receivers. It really felt like you had a wide receiver 1A, 1B. This year, AJ Brown is just taken over. So Devontae Smith has kind of fell by the wayside. But yeah, I mean, the duo is just ridiculous. I think that we have probably the best wide receiving core we've ever had in our franchise history. I can't think of a time we've had. I mean, maybe you look at Macklin and Deshaun Jackson, but they weren't on the level that these two are. And, you know, you look back to like a Harold Carmichael. I'm trying to think who was even like aside of him, you know, like Terrell Owens had like Freddie Mitchell next there. So it's like you've never had 2 really, really good wide receivers. So I'm happy, you know, that we definitely got this, and I feel good about these wide receivers, and we're gonna have them for a while. So and that's true though, what you say that you guys are leaning more heavily on the passing. I think the Eagles are gonna start shifting more towards the run in the second half of the year just because of the teams we're playing. So numbers might get a little skewed, and it's probably gonna be a lot closer towards the end of the year. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm glad that we got that one. I'm glad that you're able to admit that because why our wide receivers are disgusting. I'm gonna be real when it gets to the defense. I see everybody saying you better be honest when we get to the defense. I'll be real, but that's why I went with offense first because it makes me feel better. I
Mhm.
feel more confident on the offense. Next we got tight end. Now, obviously, we're looking at this at fully healthy.
I'm
I
taking my
know,
tight end.
really,
What? I'm taking Jake Ferguson. He's about to be a star.
over Dallas Goedert.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I can't
You
rock
ain't
with that.
got to. You ain't got to rock with it. You're gonna see.
Why would you take Jake Ferguson over Dallas Goedert? I mean, it's not numbers. I know that it's not numbers. It's
I mean,
just
his numbers aren't bad. He's got 36 catches for 354 yards, and they just started really showcasing him like they're supposed to. 4 touchdowns already. He has 112 passer rating. He's averaging 9.8 yards per reception. Not crazy. But got to get his drops control. He has 4 drops. That is not good at all. He has to get that under control. But yes, I feel like Jake Ferguson is going to be the who's who of tight ends. He is a budding star. Has everything you want. He can block. He can go in seam. I mean, you can spread him out wide. I mean, he's athletic enough. You can do a lot of things with him. So I'm definitely taking Jake Ferguson. I know Dallas Goedert and what he's done and all those things, but I am taking Jake Ferguson. You will see here in a little right now. This year is going to be showing if Dak Prescott continue to get that ball to this guy. You're going to see he'll be talked about as one of the top tight ends by the end of this year.
see, I take Dallas Goedert. I will say this. I do think that the future for your tight end position is probably brighter than ours, just because Dallas Goedert is getting to that age where we like to draft because we drafted Dallas Goedert when Zach Ertz was the same age as Dallas Goedert is right now. So there is a definite possibility that this is probably one of his last years being that guy. And then you look at the injuries, it's definitely never good that you're continuously getting hurt. Last year he got hurt, this year he got hurt. But I think that as far as what he does for this team, what he is for this team, I definitely take Dallas Goedert every day and twice on a Sunday. I think he does everything you just said that Jake Ferguson does. Plus, he's one of the best blockers at the tight end position. So
Jake
I think,
can block his ass off too, though.
but is he one of the best? I would realistically
Right now, but I'm gonna say, like I said, I feel where you're coming from because I feel like you saying that because maybe he's been more established. And Jake Ferguson, this is only his second season, and he's going by leaps and bounds. He got in that tight end room. He was off season, just really working on his craft, getting better. And like I said, you can see it. He's explosive. He can really beat you on the one-on-ones. I mean, he's going to be that guy, and he's definitely going to overtake. And I'm definitely going to take him over Dallas Goedert. I'm definitely taking him.
yeah, I look, I love the confidence, but I think that
It ain't just
you're right.
confidence. You're going to see. It's not just confidence. It's going to
I
be
think you
factual.
are right, though. I will give you that I do think that down the line, your Jake Ferguson has a very good chance to be a very, very good tight end. I think that we saw that in the Eagles game, even when he wasn't getting the ball thrown to him, he was always open. That man was wide open.
We missed a big touchdown from Dak Prescott, and I honed on that. And I told you about that, and I honed in on that. He was your linebacker was beat instantly, and that was with a minute and 15 seconds. That's when I just prayed I wish Dak had back because he was instantly beat off. Your safety, what's his name, Blankenship, was nowhere inside. That could have just been at least 6 or inside that 10-yard line, changing the game because he was eating up your linebackers one-on-one all day.
Yeah, he was. I mean, that's that's not saying much. Our linebackers are trash this year, which we'll get to.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll get to that. But you got a super chat before we keep going.
All right, shout out to my sis for the $10 holler. Said my beloved brother James, how are you and your family? Appreciate you always in my prayers, and you are as well. My prayers are. We already talked about that, so you're definitely in my prayers. Always appreciate the support. But yeah, we're going with Jake Ferguson, my dog.
I like how you went right back to that. Yeah, no, look, Jake Ferguson's probably gonna be really good in the league, but I'm going with Travis Scott. I mean Travis Kelce. I can't even talk right now.
Go ahead and say it, Jake. You were about to say Jake Ferguson.
I was gonna say Travis Kelce. I don't know why, but
because you remind me of him.
Yeah, no, I don't know about
that.
But people are saying Jake's mid and stuff. Yeah, I can't agree with that. I mean, he is good. I'm gonna be 100% honest.
That's just their hate. He's good. That's just their hate. I do
think that Goddard. If Goddard didn't have it wasn't your guy that went out there and tried to like karate chop his arm and
Oh
break
my
his arm.
God, no,
If
we
it
knew
wasn't for that,
nobody tried to break his arm.
I don't know.
Marquise Bell, and you know Marquise Bell is not a malicious player. He never been. He plays good. He plays clean. I mean, if you're trying to get that man and you're grabbing him by his arm, that's sometimes how you have to bring down a player. Like, how else was he going to get him when he was sticking his arm out? Like, that's what's going to happen in the game. It wasn't, we're trying to bring you down, but I'm trying to bring you all the way possible, and you have a long, stiff arm on me, so you have the advantage. What is he supposed to do?
I don't know. Maybe drop. I don't know. There's no ways of tackling anymore. There's like no good way of tackling anymore.
No,
Every
man,
tackle.
cut it out about being a dirty play. That was not a dirty play. He is not a dirty player. Quit your crying. I definitely didn't want to see Dallas Goedert go out or in any kind of injury. I hate that kind of stuff. But I would, and you know me, I'm gonna keep it 100. If I felt that player actually was doing that, I would definitely say it here. I don't feel at all, and I have no thoughts of Marquise Bell even doing that. He was trying to make a play and get that man to the ground, and that's what happened. So, hey, if y'all want to say it's dirty because you're Philadelphia fans, of course you're gonna say it, but I don't really care what y'all say.
It was dirty. I'm gonna go with dirty, but
I'm gonna go with y'all just crying.
Dallas got. I mean, look, I'm taking Dallas Goedert over Jake Ferguson. I will give you Jake Ferguson has a pretty bright future in the NFL, but right now Goedert is just that guy. Goedert has shown it. Goedert is a better blocker, in my opinion. He's a better runner after the catch. I think so. I'll give Jake Ferguson maybe route running. I like his route running. I will say that he seems to get open off the line a lot, which is impressive, especially for a tight end of his size. But I think that Goedert, once that ball's in his hand, it's hard to get that man down. So, we run screens and stuff for Dallas Goedert. I don't think Jake Ferguson's there. That's really where.
Yeah, we run screen plays for him too.
For Jake Ferguson, all right, I'm gonna have to watch some of those screens because I don't know. When I see Dallas Goedert get the ball on them screens, he looks like a wide receiver. He looks like a running back.
So does Jake Ferguson. We can spread him out wide. Everything that you're talking about, Dallas Goedert can do. Jake can do as well,
except for block as well.
No, he can block as well.
He cannot block as well.
No, I mean,
Jake,
we can go look at the tape. I mean, I'll go get up a session, and you get a session of Dallas Goedert, and I'll get a session of Jake Ferguson on blocking. We can do that.
We're gonna have to do that. All right. So next we'll move on to offensive line. This is gonna be interesting as well because I'm taking the Eagles heavily. I don't think that you guys are really even that close offensive line wise. I mean, you guys. Your left tackle is really good. Your left tackle is really good, but he's always hurt. So I don't know if I could really.
Well, why you can't throw that in there? We're talking.
No, I know. Yeah, that's true. We're saying fully healthy. We're
talking about fully healthy, and he's playing. Even though he gets on my damn nerves, always being hurt. Yes, he gets on my damn nerves, Tyron Smith. But when he's in the game and he's been playing, he's one of the top left tackles in the game right now.
But I'm taking the Eagles. The Eagles' offensive line is probably top 2, top 3 in the league right now.
Not right now. They're probably maybe 4. They're definitely top 5.
Top 5. I'll give you. I can't think off the top of my head who I would take. But
they've been struggling a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So they haven't been the Eagles of old. That's damn sure they haven't been the Eagles of old because your run game has stalled a little bit. There's been sacks on Jalen Hurts. So
there's also been a lot of injuries. That's kind of the thing.
For a while, we've been having injuries too, all down our offensive line.
I get that, but we can't hold injuries against it, right? Like if Cam Jurgens, Lane Johnson didn't miss time, I don't think our run game would have been stalling as it did, or the sacks, because the sacks came when Lane Johnson was on one leg still playing. So I personally think fully healthy, there's not really any other offensive line I'd take over the Eagles. Personally.
Okay, fully healthy, I'll give you that.
So you're gonna go with the Eagles as well?
I'll go with the Eagles fully healthy. Yes, I think they're a little bit better than us. Just a little bit better than us. I think your center, probably the edge. We're saying fully healthy.
We're saying fully healthy.
I don't know. Let me think. Fully healthy because Tyler Smith's better than your guy. Tyler Smith's one of
Tyler Smith. What position? Guard, left guard.
Left guard.
He's not better than Landon Dickerson. Landon Dickerson's top 5 in almost every single ranking.
So is Tyler Smith. I bet you Tyler Smith's numbers are better across the board than Landon Dickerson.
Landon Dickerson is like top 2 in run.
So is my guy.
Rate. He's not top 2. He's not number 1. He would have to be number 1 because literally Landon Dickerson's number 2. He's top 2. He's top 2 in run block win rate. He's top 2 in pass block run win rate. That boy is a beast, and he's the least helped offensive lineman in the league right
now. My guy, I'm taking Tyler Smith over him all day. all day.
So all right, let's go down the line. Left tackle.
How many sacks is Dickerson giving up?
I don't think he's given up one yet this year.
Let me check the numbers because I got it right here in front of me.
Yeah, go ahead. Because I'm taking Landon Dickerson over Tyler Smith every day and twice on Sunday.
No way. You're delusional.
How not? So let's go down the line. You got left tackle.
He's giving up 2 sacks. My guy's giving up 1. His run blocking rate just on grades is 70.8. My guy's is 84.8. Overall, just the player grade is 69.7. My guy is 74.2. Your guy has given up.
What is it? PFF?
No, I'm just saying pressures. Your guy's given up total of 23 pressures this year. My guy has given up 6. That's not even grades.
How many didn't Tyler Smith miss games?
He missed 1 game.
So he probably would have gave up like 20 pressures in that game.
No, he would not have. 6 pressures, bro. No hits on the quarterback. Your guy's giving up 23 pressures. How is he better?
I don't know. I'm taking Landon Dickerson every day.
Okay, that's homerism then.
That's not homerism. You watch it. You brought up percentages. I'm taking Landon Dickerson. So let's go down the line of the offensive line. Let's go down the line. Left tackle. I'll give you Tyron Smith. If we're talking fully healthy, I'll give you Tyron Smith over Jordan Mailata. Left guard, like I said, you can take Tyler Smith. That's cool. I'm taking Landon Dickerson. Landon Dickerson is better.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Your guy has got 5 hits on the quarterback. My guy has 0 hits on the quarterback. 6 pressures. Your guy has 23 pressures, and he's better. Okay, giving up 2 sacks. My guy's giving up 1.
You also got to look at how long players have been staying in the pocket. That Jalen Hurts has been staying in the pocket longer than Jalen Hurts has the longest time in the pocket.
It's not because of inside pressure that Tyler Smith is giving up. What are you talking about?
No, what I'm saying is Jalen Hurts has held the ball the most in the pocket in the NFL. He's had the most time in the pocket in the NFL. That adds to your pressures. That adds to all your stuff. That adds to all that. So, all right, you can take Landon Dickerson.
You can ask anybody. I bet you they will not take right now Landon Dickerson over Tyler Smith. I'll go ask those gurus all that. They will not take Landon Dickerson over Tyler Smith right now.
We're gonna have to like start shouting people out on Twitter and see what
let's do it.
I'm taking Landon Dickerson.
Let's take some of these gurus because they're not taking Landon Dickerson over Tyler Smith right now. He is not playing the best foot. He is not playing better football than Tyler Smith right now. No, he's not.
All right, so I'll give you Tyron Smith. I guess we'll split on. I'll split on. I'm not moving from Landon.
The numbers say it.
I'm not moving from Landon. I'm taking Landon.
Why?
It is what it is because he's better. Because Landon is far more athletic, far more strength.
He's not more athletic, and he's definitely not stronger.
I'm taking Dickerson. I'm taking Dickerson. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see
at the end of the year when my guys are all pro.
We'll see. And then center. I think the Eagles obviously have the better center.
Who y'all got?
Jason Kelsey. How would you be? We got? We got the GOAT.
Okay. I'll give you that. Tyler Bass has been beat up a little bit. I'll give you that.
All right. So far, even if I gave you Tyler Smith,
we're probably going to win this right here because
even if I give you Tyler Smith,
your right guard over ours.
Zach Martin over Cam Jurgens. Yeah.
Zach Martin.
Yeah, I'll take Zach Martin over Cam Jurgens. And then
I'll give you right
Lane Johnson. Yeah, that's obvious.
Yeah, that's for sure. So and you gotta admit though, it's
close.
That's 3-2.
It's close. That's 3-2 for you. That's
bro. Like I said, there's nobody that's gonna. We can tag. There's nobody that's gonna tell you that Landon Dickerson is playing better football than Tyler Smith right now. This is only Tyler Smith's 2nd year, and he played left tackle last year.
This is Landon Dickerson's 2nd year.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm taking maybe I am being a homer. That's fine. I'm probably being a little bit of a homer. I didn't know that Tyler Smith's numbers were that good, but personally, I think that Landon Dickerson. I would take Landon Dickerson over him. Maybe the numbers are better, but I would still probably take Landon Dickerson over him. I just think that he's a better player. It could be different, the numbers probably don't show that right now. It is what it is. I think that is 2 different philosophies on the offense, 2 different quarterbacks. A lot of injuries around Landon Dickerson. I think all that stuff kind of factors in.
We have injuries around Tyler Smith. Tyron Smith is always hurt. Tyler Biatch has missed time. He's been hurt. Uh, uh, Terrence Steele is coming off a torn knee that he's not the same guy right now. So we've had injuries all up and down the line too.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we're not gonna agree on that. I'm not. I mean, it is what it is. I'm trying to find a common ground. But
That kind of should be me though on offensive line though.
yeah, I gave you Cowboys. I still got to say the Eagles though. I just think overall the Eagles' offensive line has been one of the best and continues. I think now getting healthy, they'll get back on track. And we played some really, really good defenses. I know that doesn't really necessarily matter, but I'm taking the Eagles offensive line. So far, we basically disagreed on everything, except for wide receiver. Come on, quarterback. I don't think that's a homer pick. I think
that's
you
not
can
a homer
pick either one. You could really pick either one. Running back. I think
you went homer on running back.
Heck nah. You're telling me that just because Rico Dowdell had one good game.
I believe
he had one good game.
It ain't just one good game. He's had other games where he showed his explosiveness, but our goofy coach does not want to give him carries. It's our goofy coach, bro.
We can say the same thing about Penny. We can say the same thing about Rashad Penny then. Rashad Penny was great on other teams, but our goofy coach don't want to play him. So if you add Rashad Penny, Boston Scott's had great games, but we don't really play him. So if we want to do that, we could talk about guys that have had great games and showed what they could be. I would still take the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at. Wide receiver, we agreed. I think that's fair. I think, it's close. It might be closer at the end of the year. We'll see. Tight end, we split again. I think that's homerish. I think to say that Dallas Goedert isn't a top 3, top 4 tight end in the league right now, I don't know. You don't think he's one of the top 5 tight ends in the league right now?
Dallas Goedert?
Yeah.
I have to look at the list because I don't want to because I don't know all the tight ends just like off the top of my dome piece. You feel me? But I say he's probably top 5. I would definitely say because he's been a banger. But I think you're going more over his body of work than what we're talking about this year. I just think Jake Ferguson is really showing his worth. He is ascending very quickly, and once he continues to get the ball, he's going to be talked about as one of the best tight ends in the league by the end of the year. It's gonna be facts. You'll be hearing it. It's gonna be facts.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, he's got the whole year to prove it. You know what I'm saying?
And he's gonna prove it. I'm saying it right now. You'll be hearing about Jake Ferguson talked about as one of the best tight ends coming in, especially. And then next year they'll be having Jake Ferguson right there.
I hope he proves it because if not, I'm gonna be talking all week.
That's fine. I know we can.
I'll be talking.
He was a guy. We were doing our draft show, and he was the guy I wanted in the draft when we were doing our draft show. You remember, I was on Jake Ferguson all through the draft. He was my mock draft. I picked him 3 times in my mock draft because I said he was going to be that guy. We did the draft show.
Yeah, I mean he's good. I give him his flowers. He is good, but I just think once Dallas Goedert comes back, his impact is going to be crazy. I mean, he has more yards, I believe, more catches than
barely.
He has them. He
only has like 2 more catches than Jake Ferguson.
More yards. He has like 100 more yards.
I can look.
How many years your guy got?
He's like around 5, something like that. I'm pulling it up right now.
You got 500 yards. Jake Ferguson got 500 yards.
Let me see. Oh no, Jake Ferguson got 336. I think he's got 336 or something like that. Your guy has 410.
Yeah, so
and he has 2 more catches. My guy has more receiving touchdowns.
2 more receiving touchdowns.
And my guy has a higher passer rating when he's targeted.
Also, you got to think that Dallas Goedert this year was not targeted in the beginning of the season.
Neither was Jake Ferguson.
That was a bit. I mean, we're kind of on the same wavelength as that.
Yeah, now you guys neither was Jake Ferguson. You feel me? Now we're feeding him. Now you're seeing.
When you feed Dallas Goedert, you see how amazing he is. So, and even when you're not feeding Dallas Goedert, you see how amazing
our team is when you're feeding Jake Ferguson too. It's the same thing.
Y'all not more amazing than us. Y'all lost to us, so ain't that amazing.
Right.
But offensive line, offensive. I mean, and you had Jake Ferguson in the red. You had 10 plays within the 20-yard line.
That should have used
Jake Ferguson. Not at the end of the game when it really mattered. Y'all didn't.
He was working your line. He was working your line.
But he didn't score. He did not score. Dallas Goedert did his damn thing. That's all I know. Y'all had to break his arm to get him out the game. That's what it came down to.
Oh, here we go. Never mind. We go on that goofiness.
And then offensive line, we split on. I mean, that could be an hour-long argument, I think. But
Yes, you're homerish on that one too.
I don't think I'm homerish. I think, if anything, I think you would be a homerish on the tight ends and running backs. But offensive line, I think, is a fair split. I think that you can make an argument for both. And I think running back is a fair split. You can make a running back argument for both, quarterback as well. But it is what it is. I think those three
Numbers say the same at tight end.
Say that again?
The numbers say the same at tight end.
Maybe. I mean, Dallas has more yards. Dallas is a better blocker. I don't know. I just think that overall Dallas Goedert is a better player. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll revisit this at the end of the year and we'll look at the numbers and we'll see how we feel about it. Next, we'll do the defense.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I know you guys are excited to do because I have to be honest about it, but we'll start with defensive ends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving this to the Eagles. I don't think I need to make a long explanation, but Josh Sweat, you have Hassan Reddick, you have excuse me, I'm losing my voice. You got Brandon Graham, who even on a limited amount of snaps is still making big plays. He made a big play against y'all. He made a huge play against y'all.
My guys, I'm playing limited snaps and making big plays too, and have numbers to back those up.
There's not one defensive. DeMarcus Lawrence is good, but he's not better than anybody on our defensive line.
What? You're crazy.
He's not
a better run defender. He's a better guy
than who?
He's
not Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat is leading the league in pressures right now.
We're talking about the whole totality of the player. I'm gonna take D-Law
over Josh Sweat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. So Josh Sweat,
he can play that run game tough.
Even if you canceled it out, we'll put Josh Sweat and DeMarcus Lawrence, right? Mm-hmm. Who are you taking over Hassan? Who are you taking over Brandon Graham?
Micah Parsons.
So Micah Parsons is a defensive end this year. He's mainly been playing that because I know they were talking about him doing that. Is he a D end or is he a linebacker?
We can move him around. I told you that in the very beginning when we did this whole thing. You knew that.
But we can move around Hassan, but we have to pick a position because you can't just say he's part of both.
Then I'm gonna say straight edge. Yes, Micah Parsons.
So you would take your defensive ends over our defensive ends.
I'm gonna take my defensive ends because I got Dorrance Armstrong Jr., I got Sam Williams, I got Dante Fowler Jr.
None of those people are better than our guys. I would give you the argument between I'll give you the argument between Micah and Hassan. Sam Williams, who's he better than? He's not better than Josh Sweat. He's not better than even Nolan Smith. I would take over Sam Williams.
You're talking crazy.
What's Sam Williams done this year?
He got a sack against y'all, strip sack fumble.
So he got how many sacks he got this year?
He's got 3 sacks, 14 pressure. He's playing part time.
So you guys got what, 26 sacks this year?
I think like 26, 28. I'm definitely taking Sam Williams over Nolan Smith. You're talking crazy.
I'm lying about that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm definitely lying about Nolan Smith. He hasn't played much.
Dorrance Armstrong Jr. has 5 sacks himself.
I'm taking the Eagles defensive ends. I think that they are way better. We have 30 sacks on the year. You guys got 26. I'm taking the Eagles all day and twice on Sunday, bro.
You're talking crazy. Twice on Sunday.
That's that. I don't know. That sounds like homerism, bro. They are not that good defensive ends. You have 2 good defensive ends. We have a whole slew of them.
Who's a whole slew? Our defensive ends can match yours.
How?
How not?
DeMarcus Lawrence is not as good as he's a good run blocker, a run stopper. I'll give him that, but he is not as good as a pass rusher as Josh Sweat or Hassan Reddick or Brandon Graham for that matter.
He can definitely bang with Brandon Graham. Maybe not the sack artist, but pressures, yes. He definitely gets pressures.
Last year, Brandon Graham had over 10 sacks, and he played like less than 20% of our snaps. I don't think that he's rocking with him. I think that he's a good run, but he's probably the best run stopper out of the group. I'll give him that.
He has 26 pressures.
And that's half of what Josh Sweat has. Josh Sweat has 50 already.
We're talking about the totality of the player. Is he better in the run game?
Total defensive end group. I'm taking
how many tackles does he have?
Who?
Josh Sweat.
I'll tell you right now. Hold on. I'm trying to make the graphics and look up stats. So my bad, y'all. I got everything in front of me. But 24 combined tackles right now, 6.5 sacks,
Okay.
2 forced fumbles.
Okay.
I'm
You might get paid. You might
I'm
get
taking
paid.
my dog. I'm taking my dog. So you're taking the Cowboys defensive ends over the Eagles. I'm taking the
Yeah.
Eagles
Yeah. I'm saying.
defensive ends. It's all right. It's all right. I get it. Defensive tackles. I'll let you go first.
I mean, y'all got Jalen Carter. I'm gonna
And
say
Fletch.
Jonathan Hankins is playing some damn good football right now. I think he can bang with Fletcher. Jonathan Hankins is playing some. He's not getting talked about, but I definitely think he can bang. But you got the edge with Jalen Carter. He's different.
Definitely. And Fletcher Cox and the totality of this team. That our whole defensive line, I think, is better than y'all.
Osa's a dog.
Yeah, but he's not on the level. He's definitely not on Jalen Carter's level.
We didn't say that, but if you're talking, you said totality.
Even totality, I would take Milton Williams over a lot of your guys, if I'm being honest.
I like Gallimore's playing really good too right now. I know we understand Mozzie, but Mozzie wasn't picked to be a pass rushing guy like Jalen Carter was. Jalen Carter's job is to get after that quarterback too. Mozzie's job doesn't really do that. He's more to hold up the block. He's more of a Jordan Davis type, not the Jalen Carter.
Well, Jordan Davis is playing outside of his mind as well. So I would take Jordan Davis over a lot of your defensive tackles too.
Well, I mean, you would.
Who would you take over Jordan Davis?
I'm gonna give Jordan Davis the edge over Mozzie just because he's been around longer. But I definitely think Mozzie is going to come into his own. He's starting to catch on. He's starting to get better. We understood that when he came in, I feel like a lot of people thought he was going to come in and be this certain of pass rushing guy. He's not that right now. And I feel like he's going to take some time. But I feel like if you been watching his games, he's gotten a lot better, especially he's doing what he's supposed to do. Hold up that run and free our linebackers. That's what his job is right now. You can see him something morphing in later. I don't think we're trying to ask him to be the pass rushing defensive tackle right now.
Yeah, and Jordan Davis has been able to add that to his repertoire. Now he's being able to.
That's why I said. That's why I said I give you the defensive tackle, but it's mainly Jalen Carter more than anything else. I think Osa is better than anybody else you got. I think yes, he is.
Fletcher, you think he's better than Fletcher Cox?
I'll take Jonathan Hankins can bang with Jonathan Hankins. I'm taking Jonathan Hankins with Fletcher Cox at their age of their career right now. I would take a Jonathan Hankins because he's been playing damn good. You ain't been watching him. He's been playing damn good. Teams are only averaging under 100 yards, under 100 yards against us right now in the run game. You guys didn't run on us at all.
Period. Yeah, well, you guys haven't run on. Nobody's run on us either. We're number 1 in run defense.
Okay, well, you didn't run on us.
Well, y'all didn't run on us.
I'm just telling you.
So, all right, your boy Hankins has how many sacks he got? Does he got any sacks?
He's not a sack guy. That's fine. He's got.
So what is he then? What is he then? Because if we have if we're the best run defense in the league, how can you tell me that Jonathan Hankins is better than Fletcher Cox?
Because I'm watching the tape. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's penetrating.
So is Fletcher.
Okay, well, that's where you're going to take your guy, and I'm taking my guy.
Our defensive line overall, I think, is better than y'all defensive line. I don't really think it's that close. I mean, I'll give you Micah. That's about it. That's really
you're going to give us Osa too. Osa is better than any of your other guys.
Osa is not better than anybody on our team.
Besides Jalen Carter, yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I would take Jalen Carter over him. I would take Jordan Davis over him. I would take Fletch over him.
Osa doesn't play. You're talking about the pass rushing part. You're taking Milton Williams over Osa Ogadazua?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Milton Williams can play inside, outside. He's done a little bit of everything.
Fucking mine. I'm taking Osa. You're crazy.
Hey, we'll see what happens. We're going to definitely revisit that at the end of the year because I'm definitely my guy.
My guy has 22 pressures, 3 sacks, 15 hurries. So he been banging. I'm taking Osa all day.
Next, we get to the linebacking crew. I didn't realize how long we've already been arguing for like an hour about the offense. But this is where, it kind of gets annoying for me because I have to be honest. But linebacking core, I got to give it to y'all. Y'all have a better linebacking core right now. It is what it is. So it hurts to say that, but we just don't have guys right now. I mean, you guys got Rashawn Evans from our trash heap. So shout out to y'all. But
whatever. He didn't want to be with y'all. He said, I'm cool.
Yeah, because we weren't gonna play him. I'll give your linebackers Damone Clark and
tried out
Marquise
every.
Bell are better.
Mhm.
I can't sit here and lie. I like Nicholas Morrow. I like Nakobe Dean. I like Zach Cunningham, but they're mid. They're not that great. And you guys have one of the better linebacking cores in the league right now. So I can't lie. I'll give it to you.
Okay, appreciate that.
Let me put the
You gonna give us
graphic up.
corners? You gonna give us corner too? Yep. I'll give you safety, but we're taking corner. Go ahead and give it to us.
Corner. All right. So I'll say this about corner before I make, before I pick anybody. I think that our cornerback situation right now is a little bit underwhelming just because of injuries. That's my opinion. I truly do feel that once we get like a solid set of safeties in the backfield, I think that will be fine. But right now they've looked bad because it's just bad communication. Nobody knows what the other hand's trying to do. So it's kind of tough right now to judge who they are. James Bradbury hasn't looked like he looked last year. So, I mean, yeah, I kind of have to give you the cornerbacks right now because they've looked bad and your guys have looked amazing. I'm gonna be real with you. Deron Bland is playing outside of his mind, so I can't sit here and realistically say that we're better at cornerback. So I would give you
And
cornerback, but
remember, we're taking it. If they were not injured, you had Trevin Diggs.
see if there was no injuries this year, I would think that the Eagles defense secondary would be better. But
No.
I have to go with what I'm seeing right now, how they're playing. So it is what it is. Yeah, you guys have looked better than us in that secondary overall, to be honest with you. Who are your safeties, anyways? You got Hooker. You still got Hooker. Who do you have?
Yeah, Malik Hooker. Donovan Wilson's back to. He's playing good now. J-Ron Curse, but we got a kid that if he would play, I would definitely. If they let Wanye Thomas play, I would take our safeties over yours. But they don't let him play and really overtake Curse's snaps because I feel like if they let him overtake the Curse snaps and you had Wanye, Donovan Wilson, and Malik, I would take our guys. But because they keep playing Curse, and I'm not hating on Curse, I just feel like we're seeing what he really is. I feel like Wanye has way more upside, and he needs to play. And I feel like it would make our safety position even more devastating.
Yeah, Wanye's that dude that be on Twitter all the time. That dude be on Twitter every other day.
Yeah,
he be talking like he's starting.
Yeah, he'd be on Twitter. I would, wish these guys wouldn't be on Twitter so much, but I mean, this is the day and age that they are in. I wish they weren't on Twitter like that because it's annoying in my opinion. But it is what it is.
Yeah. I think that the Eagles safeties group has been injured a lot. So, I mean, it's tough to really say, but with the addition of Kevin Byard, you have Reed Blankenship, who's graded high a lot of weeks. He's done very well most weeks that he's playing, but like I said, he's been unhealthy sometimes. Justin Evans, honestly, has been a very, very under talked about player, but I think that he's really, really helped our secondary. So yeah, I mean, with Sidney Brown, he's played well some games as well. So yeah, I would give us the slight edge just because we probably have, in my opinion, the brighter future at safety. I think that we have a lot of young guys, obviously take out Kevin Byard, but I think we have a lot of young guys that can play in this league. So I would go with the Eagles. I think it's close though. I do think that it's a lot closer than people probably give credit for, but we'll see. So, I mean, this was a little bit more agreeance. This was, the offensive side was was kind of all over the place, but at least we agreed a little bit more here. I think that this is fair. Defensive end, we're definitely gonna have to look back on and see what's up. But I think outside of that, I mean, is there any? Let me see if I can find the offensive one again. That's not it. There we go. So offensively, we had QB. So we'll count it up. We'll see how it is, how many things we actually agreed on, I guess. Mm-hmm. So we split on everything but wide receiver. That's the only thing we agree with on offense, which I think our offense is better than y'all offense. I think that you guys pass more than us, and that's, you guys get more passing yards, but I think our offense is just better player by player, especially when fully healthy. So we'll see.
We're averaging 30 a game.
I mean, that's fine, but you guys also have a defense that's giving you guys short fields and stuff. We don't have that. Our defense hasn't
You
played
said
well.
y'all have one of the defenses in the league. You said you have one of the better defenses in the
I
league.
never said that. I never said we had one of the better defenses in the league. Never said
Oh,
that.
okay.
Especially
Okay.
this year. Especially
Okay.
this year. I said player by player. I think that they have, I gave us who I gave us, and I gave y'all who I think our front four is very good. I think we have one of the best front fours in the league. But outside of that, it's a lot of question marks. Our linebacking group is good, but they're not great.
They're
Our
all right.
secondary is
They ain't
not.
even good. They ain't even good.
They
They all right.
good. They are good. Our
Nah,
secondary, our linebacking core is good. They're not great. I'll definitely say that they're good though. Because
What's
what
good
they,
about Kobe Dean?
bro, he got hurt. It's not his fault. And honestly,
It
if you
is his
really
fault.
look at, if you
It is his
look
fault
at the
actually,
games,
because if
if
you're
you
an
wa-
injury,
so then it was Dak Prescott's fault that his knee got bent backwards, or
I'm
his
just
ankle.
no. I'm just. Hold on, my thing went out. Am I still here?
Yeah, you're good.
No, I'm just saying that he's an injury prone person. So you guys, this is 2 years in a row. You guys have to look at that.
Well, last year he didn't get hurt. He just didn't play. That's the thing. He came out of the draft with a supposed injury, but he just didn't play because we had guys ahead of him. But this year, I mean, yeah, he got injured. That stinks. But if you really watch the games, if you watch, and I've been saying this to all
You're
Eagles
right.
fans,
Van
'cause
Der
trust
Esch
me,
is in it. Van Der Esch is injury prone. I totally agree with you.
yeah, his
I
career is
don't know
probably over. Unfortunately,
Yeah, it probably is.
that's tough.
Yeah,
That's tough.
I don't. Like I said, I don't disagree with that. Definitely, LVE was totally injury prone.
Yeah, that one was just sad. I felt bad for that guy.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, you look at Nakobe Dean. I've said this to my fans as well because they have this notion that Nakobe Dean is absolutely trash. Our defensive coordinator and our defensive scheme, for some reason, asked these linebackers to cover up number one wide receivers, number two wide receivers. We had against you guys, we did this numbers of time, and you guys didn't take advantage of it. But we had Cunningham on Jalen Tolbert, we had Amaro on Tolbert, like we had all of our linebackers on Jake Ferguson, which is why he continuously got wide open on us. So yeah, I just think that our defensive coordinator asks our defensive players to do stuff that isn't really in their wheelhouse. And realistically, what linebacker can cover wide receivers, slot wide receivers on a game by game basis? There's not many. There's not maybe like 2 or 3 guys in the league right now. If you guys put Marquise Bell on a bunch of slot wide receivers and stuff like that, you guys will be sitting here talking about how trash they are as well. So it is
Well,
what it is.
Marquise was a natural safety as well, so I think he could flip. He could, he's versatile. I mean, they kind of morphed him into that linebacker, that hybrid position, because they kind of had to because of the injuries issues with LVE, and we lost DeMar Overshown, and then they got rid of Devin Harper, cut him. So it's kind of like, who else were we going to do? It's kind of like they had to move him down there because remember, we kept 6 safety this year, and that was already with the premises of these guys could be hybrid linebackers because we don't really have the strong linebacker position outside of LVE and the Damone Clark. And then once LVE went down, it was already kind of like a no-brainer to switch Marquise Bell to it. I'm gonna say he's a natural linebacker when you looked at his position.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, he's good. I ain't gonna hate on Marquise Bell. We talked about him pre-draft a couple of times, but yeah, it is what it is.
We both talked about picking him up.
Yeah, it sucks because I feel like every time I start liking somebody, they end up as a Dallas Cowboy or a New York Giants. But somebody said we held AJ Brown under 100 yards. They didn't hold Lamb at that at all. That doesn't matter to me. I admit that our secondary is not that good.
That's the second time he's killed y'all. I mean,
but our secondary isn't good. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, he should do that, but he didn't get a touchdown. We held him from getting a touchdown, right? So, I mean, that's what matters. Y'all lost. So, we could talk about stats all day, but
we lost.
At the end of the day, we won, y'all lost, and that's how it went down. Yeah, y'all can
barely
talk about all it. Hey, barely. It's barely winning is way better than barely losing. I say that all the time.
You're right, but you coming to Dallas, and I can't. Like I said, you coming to Dallas. Y'all got this 3-game stretch. I'm gonna be watching this, see what y'all gonna do. Hopefully, y'all better hope y'all don't lose no games, especially that San Francisco game. That'll be an NFC game. You got lucky with these two because these are AFC games, so the loss it'll hurt, but it ain't gonna hurt schedule, strength wise as far as your NFC. So you'll still be up in that. So I think the game I'm really looking
looking at is when you kind of hit San Francisco and then you hit us. Those are going to be two critical games because number one, we got the split in the East, and then number two, you losing to San Francisco. That this could be seeding. So things to be looking at because y'all don't really play anybody after that. Y'all play Seattle, and then after that, it's like what the Cardinals. But that Cardinals game now could be a game that is something might be looked at now, Joe. So I'm gonna just tell you, you was always saying the Cardinals suck, this and that. Now they got Kyler Murray. They could be a different team. Okay, you never know. Upset specials could happen. So I'm already claimed the upset special if Kyler Murray is playing in that game against them Eagles. I don't know how much you guys have to play for. That could be an upset special for us. And I'm
that's the only way I see them actually beating us is if we
Kyler
don't
Murray.
care about that game. Nah, if we don't care about that game's at the end of the year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Kyler Murray can't tear.
So
Kyler Murray couldn't tear up that defense.
They could, but I don't think that we'll really care about that game, to be honest with you. I don't think that is going to really mean anything for us. It all depends on what happens, right? We have, like you said, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Bills, and the San Francisco 49ers, and then you guys and the Seattle Seahawks. Within those 5 games, if we win at least 3 of those games, I don't think that the rest of the schedule really matters. That's really where I get. If we can win on Monday, which I think that we have a good chance of doing, if we can beat I think we can. I have more respect. I have more respect for the Kansas City Chiefs than I did the Cowboys. I'll say that much. I think that they will definitely come in and give us a really, really good matchup. Well, we're going over there, but it's going to be a good matchup. I mean, there's a lot of emotion on both sides. And that's why I haven't really talked too much junk about them because I respect them. I respect Patrick Mahomes. I don't really respect their wide receiving core, but I respect Pat. I respect Andy Reid. I respect that they have the ability to come in there and definitely whoop our tail. So I think it's going to be a good game, but I think that we can definitely win. I think we definitely can beat the Buffalo Bills, and I think that we could definitely beat y'all again. So I give way more respect to the Chiefs than probably anybody else on this schedule right now. So we'll see what happens. If we lose, it's not the end of our season. Definitely ain't the end of our season. So, I mean, you got to go in there. You got to get Taylor Swift ain't going to be there. So I feel good. Taylor Swift ain't going to be in the building. Travis Kelce going to be sad boy. So, hey, I think we could win. I know a lot of Cowboys fans are like, oh, why y'all ain't talking about the Chiefs? Why y'all ain't? One, I've talked about the Chiefs all week, but two, there's not much to say. I mean, this is the team you want to beat down. We can sit here and go through what the Eagles need to do a million times, but at the end of the day, it's probably not going to matter what the Eagles need to do or what the Chiefs need to do. It's going to come down to probably a play or two that changes the game. So I'm ready. I'm excited. I hope we do win. I think we have a good chance, but I think it comes down to realistically just at least getting 3 out of these 5, and I think we can get more, but I think that 3 out of 5. She's not going to be there, Sadiqa, because she had. That was a bad thing that happened at her. Somebody passed away at one of her concerts. So she had to reschedule it for Monday. So she's going to be, I know you probably don't care at all about Taylor Swift, but I was told this yesterday. So yeah.
I think she mentioned, I heard about it. I seen about it, but I mean, you always care about somebody's life.
Yeah, no, that, but Taylor Swift. Yeah, you know what I meant.
No,
I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
Hey, and we'll see what happens. I think that we said this before that it's probably going to come down to that game in Dallas for Eagles in Dallas. Like, as long as you guys do what you're supposed to over the next couple of weeks, it'll probably come down to that game. So I'm excited. I think that this is exactly where, we want to be as Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm sure you guys feel pretty confident about where you are as the Dallas Cowboys. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll definitely see what happens. I'm not going out jumping on no ledge and screaming we're going to blow out the Chiefs, but I do think we have a good chance. So it is what it is. You got anything you want to say to these beautiful people before we get up out of here, James?
No, just watching the Cowboys. They said Jerry Jones has an announcement at 12:45, and they're talking with Jimmy Johnson. Now, I don't even want to get excited. I don't want to get excited because I know how he loves playing with emotions, anything. But let me tell you something right now, Joe. If Jerry Jones says Jimmy Johnson is in the Ring of Honor, and he
go nuts.
My thoughts will change about my team. I promise you, because that is the curse. I don't care what anybody tells me. People can say it's foolery. People can say it's stupid. People can say whatever they want. I heavily believe it, and I'm not a superstitious guy, not that guy. But I feel like he was wronged. I feel like he should let that bury that hatchet, and he should, you guys won this together. Let it go, dude. Let it go. And if he does move out the way, that's going to show, just like that owner from the Bengals when he removed himself, always being this. When he finally removed himself and let other people do it, they went to the Super Bowl. And I feel like this will be the same type of thing where Jerry is finally saying, you know what, I don't care. I want to just go. I'll do whatever it takes. And if he does that, I'm gonna change my tune, dog.
I think what's his
Keep it
name?
real.
What's old boy with the Knicks? I think that's his name with the big beard, right?
Yeah. He's
Nick,
been
I know
posting
he'll
it.
be
He's been
hyped. Yeah,
because
he'll be
he's been posting it every single day, and I've been liking that post every single day. Because I'm telling you, if he does that, dog, I'm gonna change my tune how I feel about these boys.
We'll see. You guys got the Cardinals. No, you guys got the Panthers today, right?
Yep.
And I know that's going to be basically a home game for you. You know, the Panthers are like boycotting their team now.
Yeah, I know, right?
The Panthers fans are literally boycotting their team, and like they took over the stadium and everything. It's kind of crazy over there. So you guys should win. If you don't, y'all gonna have some splaining to do. We will be back here if y'all lose.
Yeah, well, I'm bruh.
I just want Miles Sanders to go off against y'all. That'll make my day. That'll make my day. I doubt that y'all lose, but if Miles Sanders has a big game against y'all, I'll be very, very happy. And yeah, since you call the upset alert, I'm calling upset alert. Be ready for that Panthers upset.
Okay.
But no, I appreciate everybody in the chat, man. We still got over 90 people in the chat. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe wherever you are. We appreciate you 100%. I don't think either of us are at 100% right now health-wise, but I'm glad we were able to get this done, man. And like he said earlier on in the show, man, everybody enjoy your Thanksgiving, enjoy your family, your friends. You know, we were talking about it pre-show. You know, we are doing that exact thing. He's enjoying his family. I'm enjoying my family. This is the time to do it. Football is amazing. It's a beautiful thing, but you know, family is what really matters. So outside of Thanksgiving, if you got a game that you got to watch, obviously, you know, the family can wait, but enjoy your family, enjoy that turkey. And if you ain't got nothing else to say, I ain't got nothing else to say. I think we good. So y'all be good. Y'all be safe, man. And we will see y'all next week. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. I am Joe. That is James. And we are the best of enemies. Peace.
Peace.